Hey everybody, or at least, hey hockey mom. This is Vicki Hyman. I am at the Toms River Administration Building where they just had the very brief Teresa Giudice foreclosure auction. It lasted all of about 1 minute. And as some experts had told me ahead of time, it was very likely it was going to get no bidders. And so the bank took back the house for $100, which is the minimum bid. So yay, good deal for the bank. Not really, because the house is worth, the couple owes like 320, let me go look it up, $348,000 on the house. And according to Zillow, the house is only worth, the market value is about $290,000. So it's not like the bank is going to take that much less for the house. They want to recoup some of their investments. So they got it back for $100, and nobody else bid. It was the first sale. Everybody who was in the courtroom knew that that's what most people were there for. Thank you. Does that mean they will not be allowed again? No, believe it or not, that's not what it means. The couple actually can buy back the house for if they want to pay the whole $348,000 they owe. They can pay it back. They have 10 days to pay it back. But if they don't, they have 30 days to, sayonara and be out of there. I think the mortgage holder will, or the new owner will put in some sort of writ to get them to leave. But they have 30 days. When does Teresa get out of prison? Right now it is. No, they will not get the money. They will not get the $100. She's due to be out on February. She's due to be out in February, but she's going to be back in her house in Montville, which is also in foreclosure, at the end of December. She'll be under home confinement. No, to reconfirm, did he sell any does? I'm not sure what that means. So no, this money does not go back to Teresa and Joe. This goes back to the mortgage holder who is owed $348,000. No, not all of their properties are in foreclosure. Right now, the Montville house is in foreclosure. That went into foreclosure. They served notice, I think, back in April. And this process can take like up to a year. They also own their rental house in Lincoln Park, and that is not under foreclosure yet, but it was listed for sale for $179,000, I believe, and it never sold. Oh, the pizza shop, he says does instead of, he doesn't own the pizza shop anymore. Pizza shop is closed. Joe does not, I can answer any Real Housewives question whatsoever because I've been covering it for 6 years as practically my full-time job, sadly. Joe doesn't report for prison until after Teresa gets back. They can actually, even though the judge in the federal case said, no, you're not allowed to, we don't want you spending any time together at all. Once Teresa comes home, Joe has to leave, but actually there might be some overlap. He's got doesn't foreclosure ding one's credit score? Scary stuff. Well, I think the bankruptcy that they filed really dinged their credit score. I don't think they could possibly have any credit at this point. Yeah. So so Joe will report for his 41-month sentence probably sometime early next year, and then of course after that he may be deported back to Italy because he never became an American citizen. I'm sorry, I'm a little sweaty because it's very hot. Does anybody have any other questions? I mean, yay to have a housewives expert. Yes, sadly, I am a housewives expert. Just Real Housewives of New Jersey. Not anything else. They won't let the house go for $348,000. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Do they have any income? Well, apparently, what do they have to do? Oh my God, the questions are coming fast and furious. Yes, they apparently have some income because Joe is apparently going to be filming a Bravo special, so they'll get money from that. Do they have any assets? Well, they own this Lincoln Park home. Yes, I'm a reporter for NJ.com and the Star Ledger, which is the largest newspaper in New Jersey. It's the largest media organization in New Jersey. I'm sorry, now I've lost my train of thought. House is worth over $1 million. The Montville house is worth more than $1 million, yes. So Cindy is a mortgage expert, 25 years. What about the girls? Well, am hot in the sense that it's very hot and sweaty here, and I hope my salary reflects. I get paid, yes, to cover them. In addition to other things, I'm also the television critic for the newspaper, which is how I got on the Real Housewives beat to begin with, and I also cover a few other things for NJ.com and the newspaper. The girls, there are 4 girls. You know, they're in school. They have Joe taking care of them right now, which is interesting because Joe can't drive. He lost his license back in the spring because of that, using his brother's license illegally. I don't want to use the wrong term there. He actually made a plea deal. No extra. He didn't get any extra jail time in that. What happens to the cars? Well, they might still owe them. They might still own the Maserati, although. They might still own the Maserati, although I think they are, the prosecutors are allowed to take the Maserati if they do not pay their fines. They still owe, like, I don't know, offhand, a couple of $100,000 in fines. This all, of course, dates back to their, hey, Maine, this all dates back to their plea bargain and sentencing for federal for bankruptcy fraud and conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud. How are they still allowed to live in the Montville and Jersey Shore house? They're allowed to do that. I don't know how to block this person. I'm sorry. They're allowed to live there because under the foreclosure process, I can't block them right now. I'm sorry. Under the foreclosure process, they can basically live in the house until the house is sold at auction, until the end of the foreclosure process. And that's how actually a lot of homeowners in New Jersey and across the nation who found themselves in dire straits and underwater were able to live in their houses because they can't kick you out until, you know, it's all over. Click on the message and block. So who am I clicking on? Maybe they left. Oh, here we go. Blocked. Thank you guys so much. That's so helpful. Do you think Joey will support Teresa and Joe at all? I don't know. I don't really talk to, you know, Melissa and Joe all that much. I'm sure they're supporting them emotionally and spiritually, financially. I don't know. Hi, Toronto, Canada. So let me recap for anybody who may have joined us. Foreclosure can take about up to a year. Hey, Bernice. So the foreclosure process on their Jersey Shore house, not their Montville house, ended today with a bid of $100 on their Jersey Shore house. It's in Manahawkin, by the bank that to which they owe $348,000. It was a very brief auction. It lasted less than a minute. Nobody bid. Nobody put any. And by the way, nobody was going to bid because, as I said before, the house they owe more on the house than what it's actually worth, and that would get you into pretty pickle if you ended up buying this house. The bank wasn't really going to let anybody buy it because they owe so much money on it, and they weren't going to get the price that they need on it to pay off the mortgage. It seems so little. Are they really so broke? I need to block MBR9. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you. So, hey Bernice, I didn't know you're from Alabama. So anyway, that's about it from here, unless I have any more questions coming out. Hey Maine, I'm in very hot and sweaty Tom's River after I had to walk 5 blocks to get to the courthouse and went to the wrong courthouse. How much do they owe and what is it worth? Okay, wow. They owe $348,000. The house is worth about $290,000. Thank you. No. Catch us up. So the house is now owned by the bank. Very good question. What happens to the house now? No, Joe is not in jail yet. The house goes back to the bank, and now the bank will find a realtor and put it on the market and pretty much hope to get whatever he can get on it, whatever they can get on it. Tax evasion. How do they keep the electric on? They're paying their utilities. You know, I mean, they clearly have some money. Doesn't she have books and stuff? I thought they had a mansion. Though the contents were not included in the sale, Joe and Teresa have to clean out the contents of the house. If you go to NJ.com, you'll probably see my story, which I've already posted, which has lots of pictures of the inside of the house. So, yeah. There is a home up for auction, starting bid $100. They owe $85K. They owe $348,000, and the house is worth, as I said before, $290,000. Yes, now it's bank owned. They do have to get out. They have 30 days to get out. They also have 10 days. They also have 10 days to buy the property back from the bank, but I don't really think that's going to happen at this point. Yes, they are still living in their mansion in the Tawaco section of Montville Township. I have no idea where they're going to live after foreclosure. Well, actually, they'll probably live in Montville because, as we've seen here with this foreclosure, it can take up to a year for foreclosure to happen before it gets to the point that you go to this, this auction. I'm staring at the courthouse doors, to get to the auction. So they can live in Montville for, they can live in Montville until the house is foreclosed upon. No, the auction is over. This is their summer home. You should not bid. You should not bid. This is not, I'm giving you financial advice here. This is not a good deal for you. Thank you. I do know a lot. I've been covering this for a very, very long time, since before the show started airing. So, I do not know if she's going to stay on the Housewives show. If I had to hazard a guess, I would say yes, because clearly, they could use the money. If you take your glasses off, can you still see? No, I'm completely blind. Thank you for asking. I cannot see a thing. Nobody has worse eyesight than I do, which is why my glasses are so incredibly thick. Thank you for asking. Thank you. Yes, they need to make a living. I'm not sure what Joe is doing at this point. As I mentioned earlier, he is not allowed to drive, not even on his own property. Covered that one too. He lost his driver's license. He's got 4 kids. I don't know how he schleps them around. Is Teresa the one? No, Teresa is in the Real Housewives of New Jersey, and yes, she is still in jail. And maybe they will have a yard sale. They have 10 days to do it. It's not a bad idea. No, I'm not a realtor. Where's my crazy? I'm actually from New York, so I don't have much of a New York accent either. I'm not a realtor. I am a reporter for NJ.com and the Star Ledger, which is the largest newspaper in New Jersey, NJ.com. We are the largest media organization in New Jersey. I have been covering this for a very, very, very long time. How do I decide whether or not to bid? You can't. It's over. Although at some point, how are the children handling this? I don't know. I'm sorry. I actually do not report much on the children. I hear things here and there, but I just try to stay away from that. It is sad. I'm sure it's sad for, anybody whose parents are in jail. Do they like you, or they don't like that you report on them? I cannot imagine that they like me very much, although they do talk to me. At the beginning of the season, they are required to do press interviews, and so I usually do press interviews. Did this happen? Why did he lose his license? He lost his license. He was arrested many years ago, I think 4 years ago, on a DUI, and he temporarily lost his license, as one does with the DUI. And so when he lost his license, he somehow got, I'm trying to be very careful here, he somehow got his brother's license, or he got a license that had his brother's picture and information on it. He looks a lot like his brother. I'm saying allegedly. Thank you, allegedly. And then, anyway, I think his brother was pulled over by somebody, by a police officer, and they found out that his information didn't match the picture because it had Joe's picture on the license. And then Joe was arraigned and, hi there. Joe was arraigned and charged with forgery and using the identification of another. After, again, many, many years, he lost his license. He's going to have his license lost until he goes into prison. And as I mentioned before, when he leaves prison, he will may be deported. Divorce. Don't know. It's up to them. They seem to be pretty solid from what I understand. should you know this much about them? Creepy. I'm telling you, I don't know the personal details of their lives. I know a lot of stuff about their legal situation because that's my job as a reporter, is to follow, is to write about their legal woes. So many reports stating that children were at the party when police attended. The police actually, okay, now we're talking about an incident that happened over the weekend where allegedly, according to police, the police told me, they confirmed that Joe Giudice got into a heated argument with the neighbor. It's unclear as to, what this argument was about. All I have confirmed is that he got into an argument with a neighbor. Police came, they diffused the situation. There were no arrests. I did get contacted by a neighbor who said that actually it wasn't Joe, it was Joe's brother. And as we all know, they look alike, as evidenced by the driver's license. Wow, does anybody want an update on the auction? Because I've been talking for a while. Let me know. Oh, hey, how you doing? No problem. Yes, they pay me for this. This is my job. I'm a reporter. Okay, thank you. So the auction wrapped up about 40 minutes ago. No, the Giudice auction wrapped up about 40 minutes ago. Nobody bid on the, nobody other than the bank that the couple owes the money to bid on the property. So it went for $100 back to the bank. The bank that the Giudices owed the money to, they owed $348,000. They are now the owners of the property. Who is the money owed to? America's Servicing Company is the company that filed the foreclosure. I have seen HSBC, the bank, may be the ones who they actually own the mortgage, but I'm not 100% sure about that. The opening bid is $100. It went for $100. That's what the bank paid $100 for it. Yes, $100. Nobody bid on it. And as I mentioned it before, the home is only worth, according to Zillow, about $290,000, and they owe $348,000. You should use me. My wife, bad news. I'm happy to. Does she get any royalties from Fabellini? That is it's a private enterprise. I don't really know. All I can tell you is from watching the couple on Bravo, that they really don't seem to have made very much money off of it. And I think they had like one vat of wine left to go, so I don't even know if you could still buy it anymore. Has Teresa's brother got into any scuffles yet? I don't know. He hasn't been arrested for anything as far as I know. Do they got any? I'm just going to skip that one. Here's the reporter that reports on you fracture show. Really, that's it. Thank you. Thank you for telling me I'm doing great. I'm trying here. It's only my second Periscope. I did another one this morning. Yes, I report on all of the housewives. I did a story not too long ago. You could find it at NJ.com about Jacqueline Larita's house also being in foreclosure. Teresa gets out. She'll go home to Montville at the end of the year. Yes, I'm based in New Jersey. She'll go back to Montville at the end of the year, but she will still be under house arrest. It's all over for her in February 5th. I think she is officially out of the prison system, although then she will be on parole. Their house is in Manahawkin in an area called Beach Haven West. It's on one of those canals. It's about 15 minutes from here. I'm in Tom's River. Yes, Jacqueline's house is also in foreclosure. They own a house in Franklin Lakes, and they mentioned on the last season that they are having financial difficulties. Her husband, Chris, is undergoing a business bankruptcy. Why is their house in foreclosure? Does it ever bother you that you're highly in her? But you have to. But I have to. This question was cut up, but I have to report on the housewives. I am relatively highly educated and intelligent. Somebody's got to do it. People like to read about it. It's not the only thing that I do. I'm actually the television critic for most of my job, and I would love it if you guys read my television criticism, because this Real Housewives stuff is what gets all the clicks. Is Jackie a former stripper? No, and I don't think Melissa says that she is a former stripper either. Yes, I watch the show. It is the only Real Housewives show that I watch. I recap it during the season. I write very lengthy and detailed, and I'm told very funny recaps of the show. But it looks like it's going to be a little while until they come back. What's the worst show on TV? What's the worst show on TV? Oh my God, so many to choose from. I would have said the Bachelor franchise, which, you know, I refuse to watch an entire episode of so much. What? Do I have a business card? Somebody's asking for my business card. I don't know. I'll find out. But then I watched Bachelor in Paradise for a couple of weeks for another story I wrote called Make Me Watch, where I get challenged to watch shows, and I actually kind of liked it. I have that story up on NJ.com/entertainment right now. I do not have a business card on me, but I can. NJ.com. My name is Vicki Hyman, Hyman. Yeah.
Thank you so
You
much.
got some Teresa Giudice news for me?
If I have news?
Yeah. Do you have news for me?
Nothing on pen.
Okay. Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyway. So anyway, NJ.com, you will find the story. Have I met Andy Cohen? No. I have met all the housewives except for Jacqueline in person, except for Jacqueline, Larita, and I think the twins. Although I think Jeff Lewis gotten funky. Best TV show. Oh. I do love quesadillas. I actually do love quesadillas. The best TV show, I would have to say the best TV show of last year I loved was Fargo. And this year I really enjoyed Netflix's Bloodline the most. So anyway, what was your question? I'm sorry, Burgundy Lou. What was your question? Burgundy Lou is a dedicated Twitter follower of mine. So just pop it to me again and I will let you know if I have an answer. Whew. Yeah, the twins can be a little hard to take. It's really hard actually to recap the twins because I have difficulty telling them apart. I know you can tell them apart, but it's difficult. I've also spent some quality time with Jim Marchese, who is the guy who everybody loved to hate last season. I did what I think was a very good am I married? I am married. My husband does like TV. He does not like a lot of the TV that I am forced to watch like this one. I also have a son, and you could always hear my son and my husband groaning from other rooms as they hear the television going on and they hear some of the stupid things that I have to watch. Let's see. Does it make New Jersey look terrible? Well, you know, there is a reason why I have this, you know, the camera up here. It's none of your business. Well, I mean, it does make New Jersey not look so great. Sometimes I actually think Jersey Shore might have made New Jersey look a little worse than these people do. But, you know, New York, California, Florida, you know, I don't think that they are, you know, poster children for their tourism industry either. New Jersey is a lovely place to live. The taxes are terrible. But it's really a lovely place to live. There are a lot of really beautiful places in it. It's not all, you know, bad smells on the turnpike. Let's see. Awesome? Did I say it was an awesome place to live? I don't know who I'm going to vote for at this point. Next question. Any questions about Teresa and Joe Giudice? I don't watch, only see. Yes, one of the things that I do enjoy about watching the show is I like saying, oh, I've eaten there. I think anybody really enjoys that. If you enjoy New Jersey and you want to hear, if you want to read a little bit about New Jersey that gives you, you know, a slightly more interesting take on it, I'm going to suggest Harlan Coben novels, who sets most of it. He's a thriller writer who lives in Ridgewood. He's actually one of Chris Christie's oldest friends, and he writes a series. He writes standalone thrillers and a series starring sports agent Myron Bolitar, and they're set in New Jersey, and they're lovely. Do I know Joe and Teresa? I have been very close to Joe and Teresa in the courthouse, and I have interviewed Teresa over the phone, and I've met her in person once. But no, we are not friends. Could you have bought some of their furniture? No. No. They might have a yard sale. They might sell it. I don't know. I cannot visit her in jail. I am not on her approved visitors list. Is Teresa more intelligent than she comes across on the show? You stumped me. Some people who know her very well say that she is crazy like a fox. So I would have to say some people say yes. I'm going to does she offer you coke? Chris Christie is grew up in Livingston, yes, as did Harlan Coben. Yeah, well, the thing with Teresa is that I think she's a hard time recovering from things. So when she asks a question that she is very discomfited by, she like sort of freezes and doesn't know what to do. And I think that may contribute to her overall, like maybe not so intelligent look about her. So you don't know why I'm periscoping about them because I've been covering them for 6 years now. And so I know them from a legal standpoint and from a criminal standpoint and from watching them on television and from talking to them on the phone and in person at various events, various interviews I've done with them over the years. Is there any reason Jack's financial issues never make it? Well, they did make it last season. Yes, I've been covering them in the Star Ledger and in NJ.com. Jack's financial issues sort of came to the front a little bit this past season. She is not under criminal, there's no criminal charges pending against her, so there hasn't been a lot of interest in it. And quite frankly, the business bankruptcy that Chris is involved in is so incredibly complex. Every time I have to go and like do a story on it, sometimes I have just no idea what's going on. I have to call like 10 million people to figure out what happened. Teresa is in jail for bankruptcy fraud and conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud. The bankruptcy fraud is for hiding assets and income on her bankruptcy filing. She did not get bankruptcy discharge, by the way. And the conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud is for creating fake W-2s and fake tax returns in order to get millions of dollars in mortgages and construction loans. Oh, I missed that last question. I'm sorry. Whew. Wow, I'm like holding steady at 72, 70. Oh, now it's going down. She's an idiot. Okay. I don't know. How long have I been doing this now? Would you go out and eat with them? I would go out and eat with them. I would say that, they're probably Teresa, at least, very sociable people. She seems like she could be fun to have a drink with. I don't know if somebody wants to be in business with them necessarily. Did I see this coming? Well, I mean, once the bankruptcy was filed and the extravagant spending, sort of continued, you could sort of see what's going on. Does a Star Ledger pay you to do these scopes? Awesome. It's part of my job. So yes, I guess they do. No, I don't think Juicy would be hitting on me. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I watched Manzo'd with Chill. Oh, thank you. I think I am just going to go ahead and block you. There you go. Yes, I watch Manzo with Children. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't really like these like half-hour silly spin-offs. I'd rather, sort of be invested in like the not real drama. It's not real drama. The drama of different reality shows as opposed to sort of like the fake, manufactured little like field trips they go on. So thank you. Caroline is nice. What is Caroline like? Caroline, I think I've interviewed her on the phone. She seems kind of no nonsense, a little brusque, like, you see her on television. Do I like music? Tom Waits, how's that? I listen to a lot of 90s music now, reliving my teenage and college years. So, out of all, when I've met every single one of them, they're all perfectly nice to me. I did have an incident with, I don't eat breakfast. I did have an incident with Dina Manzo very, very long time ago when I went to interview her in person. And I had written a story profiling all of the housewives. And I mentioned that Al Manzo's father, Tiny Manzo, allegedly had some mafia connections. And he was found, UNC, go Heels. He was found shot in the trunk of his car, which was a very well-known incident. And so I mentioned that, and Dina, this would be Dina's father-in-law at that point, and she was, she actually came up to me, and I thought it was very fair. She's like, I have to tell you that I don't think it was fair what you wrote. It's very personal. It's nothing to do with this show, and it really hurt a lot of people. And I appreciated it. I told her I appreciated, what she was telling me, and I was sorry, but, once you're on a reality show, a lot of stuff comes up, and this was not hard to find. This is kind of what the family's known basically for being, owning the brownstone and stuff, but this was something else. And so I mentioned it. And after that, she gave me a perfectly nice interview. So, yeah. Yes, I've met Danielle. Yes. I met Danielle when she was working on her tell-all book. So that was between the first and second season of the show. Jayhawk's still a little pissed at Roy. Okay. I'm going to recap one more time what happened here. I am at the Ocean County Courthouse. Thank you. I'm at the Ocean County Courthouse in Toms River, New Jersey, near the shore, and Teresa and Joe Giudice's Manahawkin home on one of the canals in Manahawkin, Beach Haven West, I believe, was foreclosed upon. The auction happened about almost an hour ago at this point. There were no bidders whatsoever. There were no bidders whatsoever. The bank ended up buying the property back. The bank is owed $348,000. The home is only worth about $290,000. So it really wouldn't make any sense for anybody to buy it. Teresa, I was at, a lot of this information is available on public record. I was actually inside the auction when it happened. That's how I know. Teresa gets out of jail. She gets out of prison. She goes under home arrest probably at the end of December. She will be under home confinement until February. And at some point in there, the starting bid was $100. I'm here because I cover the Giudice's legal and money woes, and we're talking about their small 5-bedroom vacation house on the Jersey Shore in Manahawkin, not their Montville home, which is in the foreclosure process, and it will likely, be in the foreclosure process. Yes, for $100. Well, the bank bought it back. Basically, nobody bid it. Nobody bid on it because it is worth less than the bank was willing to let it go for. So it would make no sense for anybody to actually buy it unless they are RHONJ super fans, and I am not one of them, so I did not bid on it. Hi, Sabrina. I could have bid. I value my financial security, so I was not going to bid on this. What will happen to their house? Anybody can buy it, probably starting in a couple of months, I'm guessing. The bank will get a realtor and put it on the market. No, it does not mean it was worth less than $100. The house is probably worth about $290,000. It's not a bad house. Seems to be in fairly decent shape, in a nice area. It just means that, like, you hate these questions. No, I don't hate these questions. I've just been answering them for an hour now. I do not feel RHONJ fans are stupid. You are my people. You read my recaps. I do not feel that way. The house is the house we put back on the market, and somebody can buy it. Their Montville house will, if they do not get, yes, they do live in a very large mansion in the Tawaco section of Montville Township in Morris County. Would it be a tourist attraction? No. They live in Montville Township in a, you've seen it on the show, in a huge, sprawling, onyx-clad mansion that their mortgage lender attempted to, has given them notice that they are foreclosing upon. That may be the case. You know more than I do about this particular, real estate market. I'm not very familiar with the Toms River real estate market. Yeah, so this is not the Montville Township home. That township home is under foreclosure. We have many, many months before it possibly gets to this point. So basically their life fell apart. Kinda. That's where they're filmed at. Yes, the Montville home is where they film most of the show. They have filmed a couple of episodes down here at their Jersey Shore house. They also own, FYI, a third house They own a third house in Lincoln Park where they allegedly lived in while they were building the house in Montville. And it is not a particularly, it's a very, I call it nicely a modest home. It's like a 3-bedroom home. It doesn't look like it's in the greatest of shape, but they still own it. They tried to sell it for $179,000. And they got no bidders. Do they have kids? Yes, they have 4 children. The oldest, Gia, is 14, and the youngest, Melania, God, she must be about 5 now. Do I think they'll be able to bounce back from this downfall? Well, I think Teresa will make a bundle if she goes back on Bravo. She still owes a lot of money, but if she can come back, and I think if she comes back humbler, she may get a lot more fans, which could, allow her to, write more cookbooks. She could write a memoir, and I'm waiting for the Son of Sam question to come along, and get enough money to, dig herself out of the hole. I think Joe's got a bigger problem. Joe may be sent back to Italy. Do they go to public or private schools? I honestly don't know. I think at one point they were in public school because I think I once spoke to a person who taught at Gia school. $170,000 for what? Oh, their Lincoln Park home, which is a very small, modest home that they still own, which is one of their 3 homes, not in foreclosure. They wanted $179,000 for it. And it's not on the market right now. Maybe it'll be foreclosed upon. I don't know. Do you think she would go to juicy with Italy? I mean, of all the places to be deported back to, Italy's probably, it's quite up there. I think if he goes back, I don't know. I have no idea. There we go. So, okay, I think we are going to wrap it up. It's been an hour. I'm glad you guys seem to enjoy this. I enjoyed it too. Any last questions? Okay. Oh, thank you. Oh, yes, please follow me on Twitter. I would love that. It is at Vicki Hy, Vickihy. My name is Vicki Hyman. I work for the Star Ledger and NJ.com, and I would love it if you followed me and if you read my stories. I cover Real Housewives as a small little part at the moment of my beat. No, it's not Hymen. Thank you. Are you like 5 years old? Like, I haven't heard that before. Yes, you can. This will stay up for a while. I think they might. I don't know if the Gorgas are broke. I think we might try to insert this somehow into my story online at NJ.com. I already have a story up about this. About the fact. Oh, thank you guys for all the hearts. This is very affirming. I like this. I don't get this when I write stories, and they go in the newspaper. Yeah, so there's a story online at NJ.com about Teresa Giudice and Joe Giudice's Jersey Shore home that has been sold back to the bank for $100 at auction today in Toms River about an hour ago. And the bank will presumably put it on the market and sell it. So, if you're looking for a home in Toms River on one of the canals, this could be the house for you. How about the big house? One last time, the Montville house. I don't live in Atlanta. I don't watch the show. I focus strictly on New Jersey reality show people. The Montville house is in foreclosure. It'll probably take a long time for it to get to the point that the Manahawkin house got to today. So no news on that one. I did check recently, and it's still in the foreclosure process. They haven't tried to. Sometimes the homeowners can arrange a deal with the bank, come up with a payment plan, and it'll come out of foreclosure. That has not happened yet. Teresa will be released to home confinement in December, the end of December. She will still be in the prison system technically until February. That's about it. Thank you all for joining me. I'm glad you seem to enjoy this, judging from the hearts. And please take a look at NJ.com. On the homepage should be my story. And, feel free to comment there and continue the conversation. I do Periscopes, but on our NJ.com Periscope account, oftentimes about various TV shows. I did it about NJ.com and Bachelor in Paradise last Sunday. When the fall TV season starts up again, I'll be doing them a lot more. But as I said, from our NJ.com Periscope site. So anyway, thank you all for joining me today, and I don't know if Joe's going to get deported or not. Ooh, okay. Sorry. Signing off. Have a good day, everyone. I got a long drive back to northern New Jersey.